President Trump's premature declarations of victory and claims that there is a plot to steal votes are presenting an acute test for social media platforms that have pledged to prevent election-related abuses. Mr. Trump's statements and online posts late Tuesday and early Wednesday unleashed viral claims about attempted election theft and posts that encouraged violence, according to researchers who study online political discourse. The largest social media platforms, including Facebook Inc., FB 8.32%, Twitter Inc., TWTR 2.47%, and Alphabet Inc., SGOOG 5.99%, Google and YouTube, have taken different measures to try to combat the spread of such messages. The president has offered no specifics to back his claims. Facebook relies on outside fact-checkers to flag misleading posts from regular users. The company's action on official political pages such as the president's is limited to labels that remind users that votes are being counted and the process takes time. Twitter, meanwhile, is doing more to slow resharing of messages that contain what it determines are false claims, by labeling them in a way that requires users to click through to see the content. Darren Linville, an associate professor at Clemson University who studies misinformation on social media, described discourse overnight on Facebook and Twitter as an awful cesspit. An election worker examined a ballot at State Farm Arena in Atlanta on Wednesday. Photo: Bryn Anderson, Associated Press. Facebook is yards behind what Twitter is doing, Mr. Linville said. Even the wording of Facebook's warning is sort of limpid compared to Twitter's warnings. Facebook spokesman Tom Reynolds said the company's actions were consistent with the policies it developed in advance of the election. "Our work isn't done. We'll stay vigilant and promote reliable information on Facebook as votes continue to be counted," he said. Once Mr. Trump prematurely declared a big win for himself Tuesday night, Facebook began adding labels to posts from both the campaigns of Mr. Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden that said votes are still being counted and the winner of the election hasn't yet been projected. Meanwhile, some Biden campaign employees declared victory in television interviews early Wednesday. Facebook and Twitter didn't label or take down reports about those comments because their policies are focused on false claims that are posted directly to their platforms. Twitter also added a label to tweets from the chair of the Democratic Party of Wisconsin that claimed Mr. Biden had won the state hours before any news outlets called that state. Twitter in recent months has been more aggressive than Facebook in acting on content that it says violates its rules, and has been accused by conservatives of censorship. Those complaints continued on social media Wednesday by prominent supporters of President Trump. A Twitter spokeswoman said the company would continue to flag tweets that contain misinformation about the vote count.